This woman earns thousands of dollars in minutes, but she can't bear to give her son even 5 minutes. As a result, her son accidentally drowned and died while playing alone. But strange things happened while sorting out her son's belongings. She picked up the drawing board. The painting above turned out to be a sentence. "Don't forget to look behind you." The woman turns around subconsciously. She was startled by herself in the mirror, but when she picks up the drawing board again, the handwriting on it has disappeared. The next day something even weirder happened. "Your son is waiting for you on the swings. He has been waiting for you, he told me." My son, Rachel wanted to ask more, but the mysterious woman left in a panic. Looking at the empty swing, Rachel looked blank. This night, she saw her son walking past the window. She hurried forward and hugged her son tightly. All the thoughts are ignited at this moment, but she never thought that her son suddenly changed face in the next second, forcibly dragged Rachel into the water, still tricking her into diving. Rachel struggled and woke up suddenly. She thought it was a nightmare, but suddenly she doesn't feel right. When she slowly turned her head to look at the side, her son Thomas is standing in front of her with a sad face. It turned out to be a dream within a dream. She also wants to try riding to forget the pain, but the figure of her son always appears in front of her eyes. She was in pain. Fortunately, she met Angus, the lighthouse keeper. Under his warm and cheerful expression, Rachel's mood gradually better. She was drinking at the tavern today. The mysterious woman from before came again. She said Thomas was standing next to Rachel, drenched and watered. Rachel is incredible. Accidentally broke the cup in her hand. Seeing this, the old sheriff came over to help clean up. Tell Rachel to ignore that, which is nonsense. But when Rachel opens the refrigerator at night and then closes it, the original messy letters have become "Thomas was here." Now Rachel can't hold back anymore. She confided a series of strange things to Angus. This must be the son's resentment towards her. If she can accompany her son that day, maybe her son won't leave. Angus can only keep comforting her. Rachel was much better when they parted the next day, but what happened next made her collapse, because everyone said Angus died 7 years ago. This man lost his life because he left work early. When he found out that the neighbor Pharaoh was at his home, the two fought hard for this. Angus's wife was accidentally pushed to death. After hanging Pharaoh on the lighthouse hook, Angus also chose to jump down the river. It's all 7 years ago. But now Rachel says she's been dating Angus for a month. Everyone is naturally like seeing a ghost. Rachel doesn't want to believe it's true. She came to Angus's place, found the door not locked. It doesn't look like someone lives in the house, but she did sleep here last night. What exactly is going on? The old sheriff told Rachel. The house she lives in now belongs to Pharaoh's. The villagers knew about it. If it can be dissuaded in time, maybe such a tragedy would not have happened. So after that everyone kept silent about it. The lighthouse has also been transformed into a fully automatic unattended. Rachel still doesn't want to believe it. She remembered taking a picture with Angus, but she didn't expect the film in the camera to disappear. After seeing Angus's tombstone, emotionally out of control, Rachel called her best friend. She suspects that the shock of losing her son has confused her thoughts. Everything is imagined. Her best friend, worried about Rachel's mental state, set off overnight to the island. Rachel saw lights in the lighthouse at night. Out of curiosity, she came to check. Found a bunch of wet footprints on the stairs. Follow the footprints to the top of the tower. Angus was standing there, soaking wet. Suddenly, the voice of her best friend came from under the tower. By the time Rachel watched again, Angus was gone. Her best friend advised Rachel to stop thinking about it and go back quickly. At this time, Rachel saw Angus approaching slowly again. She turned her best friend away, but the best friend said she saw nothing. When she turned and told Rachel to leave, Angus suddenly stabbed her twice. Rachel runs out of the lighthouse scared, but when she returns with the old sheriff, there is no trace in the tower. Rachel is going crazy. She packed up and was about to leave this hellish place. Suddenly there is a noise in the room. She picked up the knife and quietly stepped forward to check. The result is that the crow is hitting the glass. Just when she thought it was a false alarm, but she saw the suicide note written in her own voice. Then a big hand restrained her. Rachel saw a suicide note written in her own voice. She looked bewildered. Suddenly a big hand restrained her from behind, made her faint. In a trance, she saw two people. It turned out to be her husband John and best friend. It turned out that it was all a conspiracy of the husband and best friend. Rachel is talented and earns tens of millions a year by writing. The husband also wants to show his talent, but all of his works were confiscated, plus the son's accidental death. This caused Rachel's marriage to her husband to come to an end. So the husband and her best friend partnered to design. They know about the murder of Angus, so her best friend Anna intentionally told Rachel to go to the beach to relieve stress, then find Pat pretending to be Angus and getting acquainted with Rachel. Make the villagers think that Rachel is haunted by Angus's ghost. This way they will make up the illusion of love after they kill Rachel. John and Anna can get Rachel's huge inheritance. At this point, Pat, who got paid and was about to leave, suddenly remembered the film he threw into the grass that day, so he rushed back to the grass to pick up the film. Then he saw the lights flashing inside the lighthouse, went in out of curiosity, but then he seemed to see a terrifying scene. On the other side, John and Anna bring Rachel to the lighthouse, chain her legs in place, and prepare to sink into the sea. Suddenly they saw lights in the lighthouse. They guessed that Pat was there. Rachel woke up. When she saw the key, she wanted to reach out and grab it. When she is about to get it, Anna finds out her intentions, pushed her directly into the sea. Rachel struggles desperately in the water. When she was desperate, her son's voice came from the water. "Don't forget to look behind you." Rachel turned around and saw that the key was slowly sinking. She took the key, opened the lock, and escaped. John and Anna found no one in the tower and were about to leave. Rachel burst in and attacked John. Anna rushed up to help. She was knocked over and hit the head and died. Seeing this, John also began to risk his life. Rachel was not an opponent to him and had to escape from the top of the tower. John was about to chase. Suddenly the hook in the tower slowly descends. Drenched Pat appeared. John asked Pat to deal with Rachel, but he said he wasn't Pat. Then took the hook and stabbed John to death. Then Pat came to the top of the tower and jumped down. 3 people died in exactly the same way as they did 7 years ago. The final investigation revealed, and the island was permanently closed. That mysterious woman also told Rachel. Thomas told Rachel to forget the pain of losing him. Remember the good memories he left in his lifetime. And this bizarre experience was enough for Rachel to write a wonderful novel.